For our audiences at home, I'd just like to say welcome to everyone watching to the 2022 Canadian Film Fest. This is our Q&A with the filmmakers from Carmen and god@mail.com. Would you like to introduce yourselves to everyone watching?
Sure, I'm Valerie Buhagiar. I'm the writer and director of Carmen.
I'm André Paradis. I'm the co-writer of god@mail.com. I'm not the director. Roger is my friend and is in Paris as we speak. So yes,
amazing. Andre, I think just before we actually got on this Q&A, I, no joke, had 3 phone calls from solicitors that I would say are the equivalent of getting the the email that's launches the story of your film. And I've certainly had that email many times before as well. How did you come to the concept? Why did you want to tell this story?
We wanted to tell a story about, you know, obviously everybody was exposed to these kind of the scams we've got, but we also wanted to oppose the notion of those numerous scams and our increasing cynicism or dubiousness regarding those. We wanted to oppose it to the notion of faith, which is a subject that's really fascinating. And so basically, often in the early stages of these scams, when they first came, the notion of faith was often intertwined with those in order to trick people. So there was an interesting tension there that Roger and me wanted to explore.
And I love just the premise of that, taking that leap of faith in humanity towards humanity, that, you know, what if you took a chance, and what if you listened to your instincts and you believed in the common good of humanity. I think the film sets that up so beautifully, that concept and that connection.
Thank you. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, well, there's a mystery in fate, so yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I was waiting for the. No, okay. No, but yeah, the leap of faith is something fantastic, and yeah, to oppose it to, and what we liked also is the fact that apart from exploring and going into the the limit of that logic, very simple inner single-minded idea, that there's this notion that we never are quite where we expect to be, and we wanted to play the notion of surprise, and that the faithful and the naive and the sin. I mean, basically there was hope all through this movie, and we wanted to play that total naiveness of the main character. And all the characters are good-minded, and it's kind of relaxing to invent a world. And it was a nice thing to explore.
So when you get those emails now, do you reply?
No, I don't. An excellent, as a good guy, as our main character, which is ironically, Real is a very is a typical narration, and I realized recently that it translates back as real in English. You know, there's a metaphor there that we did not expect in the first place.
And so you co-wrote the short. What was your process? You wrote the short, and then did you go to find your director, or were you always working in collaboration together to see it realized?
Roger, the director, Roger Gariépy, and myself are very old friends in every sense of the word. And we generally have a team of collaboration. Roger is a director who says that his project is, I want to direct one short feature a year until the very end. And we've been working for a number of years now, and Roger is now to his 6th short feature, 1 per year. We often work together, and what we do is the first time we did one, we go together, we spend some time in a country house, we brainstorm over ideas, and then we go in and we write them. And Roger is always working with as well the collaborative teams, the photo, the cameraman, all the crew is generally same gang of people. So it's a no team, but yeah, it's all built around friendship and the fun of movie right, doing movies.
I think that's great, and so important to short filmmakers to find that community and find your team and to be able to work together to realize your shorts and your projects. And I love that idea of doing 1 short a year for the rest of your life.
Yeah, Roger says life is too short to do long features.
I love that. We have the shorts programs at the festival. I love programming them every year. The diversity of content and stories that come to the screens. I love the format. So I hope that you and Roger continue to bring shorts to the festival. I love this short film, and I'm so happy that we were able to share it with our audience. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us. It was a pure delight. Thanks for your curiosity towards short features and our film.
Thank you, Andre. Valerie, Carmen, congratulations. This is your 3rd feature film.
Yeah.
I watched the film, and then afterwards I didn't go into the screening with any knowledge prior to watching it, but I was surprised to learn that this was based on true events.
Yeah, it's the tradition. So as you know, I'm Maltese. I was born in Malta, but raised here in this kitchen. No. Back in 2013, I went to visit my family, and I have an Aunt Rita. And, I was always curious about her because I like, she's not a nun, and yet, she was always wearing black, and she was no children, no family of her own. And I couldn't figure her out. And my cousin, who is actually a priest, told me, well, the story is there was a tradition in Malta that when a man became a priest, his sister would go with him and be his maid, and she would not get an education, salary, or a family of her own. That was her life. And this is how my Aunt Rita lived. She took care of my great uncle, who was the Monsignor, and then my uncle Paul, who was a priest and ran a church. But she's still alive. She's 97 years old, and yeah, that tradition. So that's where this story came from the tradition. The rest of it is make believe. Yeah.
It's such a great perspective in the film to see a woman in a leadership role in the church. We don't see that very often. And then to have on film or in life, and then to have a glimpse of how that changes and people's relationship to the church change within the context of that relationship was such an interesting and lovely part of the film, and made a lot of sense for the characters as well. It was really fun to see her give advice and the response that it elicited from the population.
Thank you. Yeah. you know, I was raised in a strict Catholic family,
Mhm.
obviously, with all the nuns and priests and even saints in there, apparently. Hence the lighting. But
Oh, great.
so when you're, you know, and if you've been raised in that church, you go through these stages and you go into the confessional booth. And I used to have to come up with bad things that I've done to tell
Mm,
the priest, you know. So it's
yeah.
years of that all of these come into play, and you know, the stillness of sitting in a church for hours and um, lets the mind go.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you were writing the script, did you know that you wanted to film in Malta?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
What was the, I know your producers aren't on the call today, but what was the co-production process like to get this film from script to the filming stage?
It's I hope they're okay with me saying it's a challenge, right? You know,
Mhm.
three people, the three producers, and then some executive producers, and then me. So it's always a challenge. Communication, the time zones, all of that is challenging. But at the end, the crux of it is that they believed in the piece and loved the story, and we supported each other through it. Right. It started with me writing it here, and then hooking up with Coral Aiken here in Toronto.
Mhm.
Well, actually, Dan Beckerman, who connected me to Coral, and then Coral and I went through the development process, and I worked with Anne Marie McDonald uh,
Oh, great.
as my script editor. Yeah, I know
Mhm.
I'm an actor as well, so I've done a lot of
Right.
theater here in Toronto, and so I know that's how I know Anne Marie, and so it was wonderful working with her.
Mhm.
And yeah, and then so Coral and I went to Malta and sussed out the producers there. Now they don't make. There's not a lot of uh, they don't make a lot of their own stuff there. They're
Mm.
what's the term called? Help produce other, you know,
Service producing.
yes, service producers. Thank you. That's
Mhm.
the word. Service producing. So it was difficult, but we did find Pierre, which was wonderful, and then his uh, partner came on board, Annika, and yeah, it got worked out. And you know, they brought in the crew. I didn't know what the crew would be like there, or the actors. Right,
Yeah.
the actors were amazing.
Well, that brings me to your cast. You
Yeah,
have a phenomenal cast. Every character in this film uh, are so engaging and so lovely to watch. And you're as an audience, you're so invested in each of their stories from, you know, the very first shots of the film. How did you come to this cast? How did you find everyone?
well, the producers, Maltese producers, but there's also a casting director in Malta, and she brought, and you know, most of these actors that you saw on the screen are usually background actors in American big films, right? So for them to have these roles, like I'm still like getting emails from them and the crew, and when are you going to come back and make something else? Because for them, it's
Right.
like they all got to work together and they all got to do what they have trained to do, because most of the time when American films come to the island, or British films, they don't get to be gaffers and grips.
Mhm.
They're like, you know,
Right.
and the actors are just are background people, and so here they got to play real roles. So I
Well, when you see that in their work, you see that there's a real sense of like community and tone and space, and that they're all living in the same world. It's so great. Like when I was watching, I was like, I would like to go there, and I would like to meet all of these people and have tea and
yeah,
hear these stories.
yeah, and they all know each other, and they all have helped each other out, and yeah, yeah, and I hope to go back and make more.
I hope you do. So this is your third feature film.
Yeah,
You are an actor, you're a
yeah.
director, you're a writer. You wear many hats in this industry,
And a
which
mom, and a mom.
and a mom, which is there you go, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
What was it like actually as a mom? What was it like for you to film in Malta and outside of your home base?
Well, my son is now living in Malta.
Oh,
Yeah. So he came to Malta when I was shooting, and he said, "Ma, I just want to stay here and play basketball." And I said, "Okay, that's a great idea."
it's
So
amazing.
yeah, he's there. He's also studying there, university, and playing basketball and coaching basketball. Yeah,
Wow, that's so amazing.
yeah.
So what's up next for you?
Well, I've got a few things. I'm writing a jukebox musical comedy called Still Kicking, about a 70-year-old woman who's fed up of being invisible.
Love it.
Yeah, so I'm just got some development funding there, and I'm working with Coral on that one.
Great.
And and I actually just got the go ahead to make a feature film with my cell phone through the Canada Council. So I'm so looking forward to that.
Amazing. Congrats.
I'll be doing everything except an editor, Peter Strauss, will be working with me. So I'm excited about that. And I'm writing a play, a theater piece with an actor and activist in Malta,
Oh, great.
Angel Elul, Angel Galia, and she, a wonderful actor and person. And so we're writing that. Again, it's about the female voice. So I'm looking at my Blackboard because I have a huge list of projects. And then I've got 2 feature films that I'm attached to as a director that I did not write, that
Right.
we'll see if funding comes through. Yeah, so a few things.
You're busy. That's great. I love to hear that. Okay. So for audiences watching at home, I personally want to follow what you're doing. How can we follow what you're doing and your projects? Where
I
can we
have no
find you?
idea. I don't know. I don't know. I'm on Instagram. I'm on
Okay, Instagram, great.
Facebook. That's about it. I don't,
Okay,
yeah.
amazing. And what's next for Carmen? Are you starting your festival run or?
We were in Whistler. We started with Whistler. That was in December and won best cinematography.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that's great. I'm going to Kingston. I'm going to Sonoma in California, and I guess more festivals. And then it'll be released in the fall in Canada through Vortex. I don't know about the rest of the world. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, please stay in touch. Let us know where the film is going, what you're doing. We'd be happy to continue to promote and support it on our side. And my deepest gratitude for sharing, Carmen, with the festival. It's really a pleasure to share it with our audiences, and I'm excited for everyone to receive it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm happy that you're showing it.
Thanks, Valerie.
It looks very appealing. I was hidden because I do not have enough bandwidth to stay with you guys, but I listened through and it looks fascinating. Looking forward to see it.
Oh, thank you. So are our films back to back, or
God@mail.com is going to play before Carmen.
Yay, that's perfect.
Yes. So everyone who's watching now will have just watched the films on Super Channel. This Q&A will be posted after the live screening for everyone to enjoy.
Okay, great.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
And for everyone watching at home, thank you so much for tuning into this Q&A. We hope you enjoyed the films as much as we did, and we look for, this is the end of the festival. This is the last film of the festival, closing the 2022 Canadian Film Fest out. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Congratulations to the filmmakers, and we'll see you all next year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Sit back, relax, witness the greatest.